let us double check the things. Okay. We are live. All right, my loves. Okay. We are going to kick this fabulous party off. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. What's up? This has been, oh my God, this has been a long time coming. I have been ready and waiting and excited and like freaking myself out and not wanting to drop into this and all of the things for, God, like years, 4 years. And it's not that what we're dropping into today, welcome to Rewilding the Melanated Soul, all the things. It's not that what we're dropping into today is the end all be all and that it had to be perfect and all of the things, but it was something that I knew was going to be so fucking profound, not only for me, but also for you. So whoever is here live, hello, say what's up in the chat. I'll be peeping from here and over here, streaming from here, peep in the chat from here. But say what's up, tell me who's here, say hello, all of the things. If you're watching this later, however you might be watching this later, what's up, hello, and all of the things, right? So this has been one of the pieces of the magic puzzle, the magic pie that I've known have been, it was coming for a really long time, and yet and still, I was holding myself back from allowing it to come through. And of course, that's one of the things that we are dropping into today is when you know that the thing is, it's like the deep shit. It's the shit that's been on your heart, on your soul for forever, potentially, right? And you've known it, and yet and still you haven't allowed yourself to say yes. You haven't allowed yourself to become the living embodied evocation of it, even though you know it is the thing, right? And so when we come into these moments, when we find ourselves at these crossroads where what we know, what we feel inside, what we know has been placed inside of us, the thing that was born between our thighs to be evoked and magicked out into the world, when we come to the crossroads of what we know and what we have allowed, when there is a crossroads, when there is a dissonance, when there feels to be, it feels like there is a distance between these pieces, that is what today is about. That is what this magic is about. That is what this invitation is about. When it's the bridge between what we know is here for us, what we know that we are here for, and bridging that with who we have allowed ourselves to show up as in our lives, to show up as in our sex, in our art, in our intimacy, in our businesses, in our wealth, in our abundance, in our bodies. Did we say bodies yet? Bodies is vital. In community, in belonging, in all of the things, right? And so this is an invitation to become that alchemical bridge, that alchemical crossroads where we collapse everything that we know that we have felt inside, potentially forever and ever in a day, and we collapse that with who we are actually allowing ourselves to be, who we are allowing ourselves to be the embodied evocation of, and who we are not, right? And so we get to look at, okay, so here's how I have been showing up in my melanated skin, in my melanated body, and here's what I know the next evolution of that is, the next evolution of soul is for me, right? And so that's the invitation today. Rewilding the melanated soul. And one of the reasons that I have been that it's been this, like, I don't know, can we keep going with this, can we keep going with this, can we keep going with the fuckery, with the muggle dickery of not saying the things that right, can we keep going the way that we have been going and not allowing what we know to be true to be the full evocation, what the things inside that we know but yet and still we haven't allowed ourselves to say, right? That is today. So really dropping into your truth, your magic, what you know is here for you, and remembering who the fuck you are, allowing yourself to be in that remembrance, to be in that evocation in everything you touch and everything you say and everything you create and everything that you are. Yes? Okay. So, T, hello. Everyone that's here, say hello. Pop into the chat. Say what's up. I love if you don't feel like you can chat, that's totally cool. It's totally cool. But I love the what's up. I love the hellos. I love hearing how this is feeling and landing in all of the things in your body. Yeah? Okay. If you feel so called, then please say what's up in the chat. Okay. And so as we drop in, there is something that happens in the melanated body and the melanated experience when we exist in a society that has been colonized, when we exist in bodies that have been colonized, that have been enslaved, that have been attempted to be erased over generations and generations, the last few hundreds of years, yes, and also all of the things that came before that and that set the stage for the last few hundreds of years, right? And so when we, the melanated medicine kin, the ones who know that we are here for the shit that is that whispers our name and howls our name in the night, the soul refugees, the ones who are so fucking multidimensional in our art, in our magic, that we can never just do one thing, and still we sometimes try to just do one thing, even though that we know that we are not here to do one thing, but we try to niche down, and we try to do the things, and we try to follow all of the things and that our coaches and mentors and guides and books and society and media have told us that we have to do in order to be set free, rather than allowing ourselves to come into a full awareness of why we have not chosen to set ourselves free in the first place, right? Why we have chosen to continue down the path of the muggled games that we've been playing with ourselves, why that has felt safer for us, rather than allowing ourselves to be in the full evocation of the magic and the madness and the mayhem that we know is born to our soul, right? And so where we begin is where we come undone, where we unbecome, where we allow ourselves to be in the deep fucking remembrance of that which we know that we are, rather than what colonization, what enslavement, what erasure, what genocide have told us that, okay, this is what you have to be in order to be safe. This is what you have to be in order to be seen, in order to be felt, in order to be known, even though we know that that's not what's true for us. And so this is where we invite ourselves back down, down, down into the depths, into the remembrance, into the magic, because that is where we find ourselves. That is where we are found. It is not going to be, we are not going to be found by following whatever path has been, quote unquote, laid out for us, by following when we work with. Nothing wrong with working with white mentors, with white guides. I have some myself, books, whatever it might be. But if we are seeking our own indigenous wisdom, if we are seeking our own lineages, but only seeking it as it's been passed down and transmitted, as it's already been touched and reshapen by white bodies, then what we are getting is not a deep and profoundly fucking alchemized aspect of the magic and the lineage that we're seeking. We are getting something that has already been passed through the white body that has been held as the standard, that we are trying to dismantle in our own body, that we are trying to dismantle in our own magic, in our messages, in the books that we write, in the blogs that we write, in the videos and the films that we create, the podcast and the plays and the stages and whatever it is, that whatever your magic is, whatever you paint, whatever you sculpt, whatever you speak, whatever you write, all of the things, if we are only looking to reclaim our own histories and reclaim our own liberation, and we are only looking to reclaim it as it's already been passed through, as it's already gone through the white lens and the white gaze, then everything that we are seeking to reclaim and remember and know for ourselves is already coming through a space of colonization. It is already coming through a space of the white body as the supreme standard, right? And if we are not within that, allowing ourselves to be in the noticing and to notice, okay, well, look, do I want to work with this mentor? Yes, amazing, cool, great. Do I want to read this book? Yes, okay, cool, great. Do I want to watch this movie, this film? Yes, okay, cool, great. But if we're not also noticing, and I see that the standard that this is inviting me into is not the standard that I want to actually hold myself to. It is not a standard that was ever met for me. It is not a standard that was ever created in order for me to even be able to meet it, right? And so if I am partaking in all these things, can we take it with the grain of salt? Are we in the awareness of, okay, and this is also coming through a lens, right? Of a body that has potentially not done the anti-racism work, has not done the abolitionism work, has not done the work to dismantle the anti-blackness, right? And the anti-indigeneity. Why do I have this word? Why do I have trouble with this word? I can say it to myself, but when I try to say it out loud, it is one of the words. Indigeneity. There we go. Anti-indigeneity, right? When we are looking to bodies that have potentially and most likely not done this work, then what we are receiving within that, if we are like, oh, you are the end all be all, or your message about my magic, about being able to say the things and evoke the things and come home to the things and remember the truth of myself and come into the full fucking primordial reclamation of that which I am, if I am not looking at and remembering that the body that I'm potentially receiving this magic from is potentially and most likely not doing their own like profoundly deep anti-racism work, right? To heal the racialized trauma that they are holding, then what we are receiving from them, if we are believing that that is the end all be all, and we are trying to meet that standard, and we are trying and we're wondering why, okay, why does my business not look like this? Why does my body not look like this? Why does my relationship not look like this? Whatever it might be, if we're not holding that awareness, then we will continuously set ourselves up to be disappointed. We will continuously set ourselves up to feel as if we are failing at being ourselves. We will continue to set ourselves up to feeling as if we are on the outside of our own life looking in and wondering who is going to open the door, wondering who is going to open a fucking window so that we can crawl back in, so that we can creep back in into our own lives, into our own selves, right? And so we get to hold that awareness, right? Hold our own lens of awareness with whomever it is that we are studying under, that we are learning from, that we are playing in the wilds with. We get to look at that body and say, okay, is this a body that is doing the work that is going to allow my body to be even more resourced and regulated by being in contact with this body? Yes or no? Right? And if that body is not doing their own anti-oppression work, if they are not dismantling the constructs of oppression and marginalization and race and racialized and genderized and sexualized trauma in their own body, then we get to look at, okay, is this someone I even want to dance on this primordial dance floor with, right? And if it is, right, because very often it will be, then can we remember? Can we be in the remembrance? Right, okay, so let me take what I am here to take from this, right? Not in an extracting, capitalism type of a way, colonization type of way, but can I take can I drink down what I am here to experience, but also hold the awareness that this body is potentially not doing the work to allow my body to be free in this world, right? And so if you're reading these books, if you're reading things like whatever it might be, Napoleon Hill, if you can get through Napoleon Hill's book, I cannot. Books, I absolutely cannot. I'm like, oh, I get absolutely fucking bored. No shade on Napoleon Hill. It was the book and the teachings of Think and Grow Rich and all of these types of things, all of the ways with which current society and standards and all the things are looking at things like greatness, right? I have an email, a blog post that we're going to write on greatness and how it has been equated with whiteness, right? If that is what we are looking to within ourselves, and we are constantly comparing ourselves to this idealized white body standard, right? Then we will continuously be disappointed, and we will continuously wonder why we do not feel ourselves in the full liberation of that which we know that we are, right? Why we will continuously wonder why we do not feel worthy to have that which we know is here for us, right? The things that we know that we feel inside, we will continuously wonder why they are not showing up in the physical realm, why we are not being shown the physical evidence of that. Because if all we are looking to for physical evidence is the white body standard, right, then that is going to be the thing that we are trying to live up to, equate success, greatness, success again, love, joy, pleasure, ease, whatever, abundance, all of the things, creativity, right? And so this is that invitation to come back into our own bodies and to come back into ourselves as the standard, to come back into the melanated body as our own standard. We make our own standard for ourselves. And if you are in a space where you are looking at the intersections of you, thank you, Kimberly Crenshaw. If you are looking at the and for white body standard, thank you, Resma Menicam. If you are at a space or in a place now where you have done enough work that you are beginning to look at the intersections of your identities, right? Who you are within gender expression, who you are within gender identity, who you are within sexual orientation, who you are within sexual identity, who you are within sexual preferences, who you are within racial identities, breaking this all the way down into all of the nuances of being mixed race, of being multicultural, of being thank you, Kareem Bell, for kind of like opening into a conversation around multiculturalism. Like, are you at that place where you're beginning to, where you're beginning to look at the intersections of you, right? And you're allowing yourself to understand that you cannot and you do not and you cannot and you will not fit into just one thing, because you are not just one thing, right? We look at all of the intersections of our identity, and if we are continuously looking to mentors, guides, healers, authors, filmmakers who do not speak to these intersections, if we are continuously looking to a place where we have no representation, it's going to be really fucking hard for us to feel wild. It's going to be really fucking hard for us to feel liberated. Not impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible. We can do it. We have done it. All the things, of course. And why do we continue to do this to ourselves? Why do we continue to hold ourselves to a standard that was never meant for us? Why do we continue to try and reach for something that we never even wanted in the first place? And so if we are desiring to allow ourselves to be more free, to remember who and what and that which we are, to allow ourselves to be the full embodied evocation of the magic and the mayhem and the madness that was born to us, that was born between our thighs, that was God born to us as us, if we are desiring the full rewilding of that which we are on a body level, yes, on a creativity level, yes, also on a soul level, on a spirit level, right, on a God level, then we get to begin to look at what are we taking in, because that will show us what we are outputting, right? It will show us what we are putting out, right? If everything that we are taking in is coming as the white lens, the white gaze, the white body standard, then that is going to color, that is going to put a film over everything that we are outputting, right? And so if you're in a state of feeling exhausted, if you're in a state of feeling like, okay, I know what is here for me, I know what I am meant to be evoking and meant to be saying, and yet I'm not. Yet I know the thing, and yet I'm still not. I'm not allowing it. I'm not speaking it. I'm not evoking it. I'm not embodying it. I'm not living and fucking breathing it. There, we get to drop into this is an invitation for us. Okay, and what is this about for me then? Right? What is life about, right? What is life about for me? And also, what is this dissonance about? Where I know. We may not have all the steps laid and slayed out before us, and we're like, oh, I've got all the things. We may still be like, I'm not quite sure about this piece or whatever it might be, right? Whatever it might be, and we know. We know what we're here to say. We know what we're here to evoke. We know what we're here to breathe, to be the to shift our beliefs around, right? To help others shift their beliefs around. We know what we are here to activate in the world. We know how we are here to be the resonance, in the thread of the web. Like, we know. Right? I'm not saying you know all the steps, but you fucking know. And if you are telling yourself that you don't know, or you're telling yourself that you don't know how, right? This is one of my things. If I go back into my old encoding, oh my God, I don't know how. Oh, but what's the how? Not only is this just dropping into our masculine body, and I'm not talking man, woman, I'm talking energetics, I'm talking polarities, right? The actioning, the penetration, the cosmic consciousness of like, I want to get in there, I want to do, right? Not only are we dropping into that potentially unawares, right, when we're asking the how, we are also cock-blocking God, right? We are cock blocking soul. We are cock blocking that which we know is here for us by going back into, oh my God, but how? But how do we do it? How do we do it? We are in a state of mistrusting ourselves and mistrusting the magic. Yeah. And so when we find ourselves, oh my God, but here, and we know that we know that we know this is what we're here for. This is what we are here to be the activation of. This is what we are here to be the evocation of. And yet and still we are not. And yet and still we are not embodying that. We are not saying the things, we are not speaking to the things, we are not messaging about the things, we are not creating things, we are not allowing our business, our impact, our art, our life, right? We are not giving our life over to that which we know that we are here for. We get to drop into the inquiry, okay, and what is this about for me then? What's happening here in my body? And I invite you to, you can come back into this and really journal, right? Our Eros and excavation writing prompts. What is this about for me, right? And maybe add in then, okay. I'm not saying the things. I'm not embodying the things. I'm not stepping into the, okay. Well, fuck it. Fuck this shit. What is it about for me then? Because I'm no longer willing to go on in this sort of half-life. I'm no longer willing to be the ghost in my own machine. I'm no longer willing to live in this muggledik matrix as if it was the one way, the truth, and the life. I am no longer willing to be anything less than the totality of that which I know that I am. I am no longer willing to suppress my pleasure and my joy and my freedom. I am no longer willing to live into anything less than the liberation for all. I am no longer willing. Okay, so then what is it about for me? What is it all about for me? And we get to really drop into this and we get to get really real with ourselves. You know, I love me some Tricky. If you have not listened to Tricky, if you have not listened to Really Real, it's definitely an invitation, right? If there are any questions, please pop them in so far. Or any ahas, anything that you're like, oh my God, this is showing up for me, or this is what I'm noticing. Please share it into the chat. Yeah. Okay. So as we begin to ask ourselves, okay, so then what's it all about for me, right? It's like, what is it? We will start to show ourselves, right, and hold the intention, have the intention. Okay, I'm showing myself this, right? I am going to be shown. I am revealing myself back unto myself. Yes. In this inquiry, I am revealing myself back unto myself. I am in the remembrance. I am in the awakening. I am in the activation of that which I need to see in order to be the full evocation of that which I know that I am. Yes? Okay. And so we are already holding the intentionality around our inquiry, around these invitations, around this invitation into our own gap medicine being, right? If you haven't worked with me before, from what I know today, this is how gap medicine is downloaded in as and through me, right? We have ourselves where we see ourselves to be, right? Where we perceive ourselves to be, and then where we perceive our desires to be, right? And everything that we deem to be in between that. All the reasons why we can't, all the reasons it's not time yet, all the reasons why we don't know how, whatever that is the gap, right? And we get to drop into that as gap medicine. It's simply medicine. It's only a perception, right? A perception of here versus there, a perception of what is possible for us in the instantaneous now, and what is going to have to take time, what is going to have to unfold through our humanized construct of time, right? And so we get to drop into, okay, so with the intentionality that we are revealing back unto ourselves, revealing ourselves back unto ourselves in this inquiry, we get to drop in, okay, so what's it all about for me then? If everything I've been doing, everything I've been saying, everything whatever, and I'm like, this isn't working, it's not working, everything is always working, right? It may not be working in the way that we want it to, but everything is always, it's always unfolding, it's working, right? If you are saying yes to soul, it's working. If you are saying yes to parts of soul, it's working. It's just revealing something else to you in whatever it is that you've already been saying yes to and saying no to, yes? And so we get to be in that state of, okay, so I am revealing, I am awakening. I am allowing myself to be shown that which I need to see in order for me to bridge this perceived gap between where I see myself and where I see my desired self, where I see my desired state, where I see everything that I want to claim and remember and know and own in my life, in my art, in my magic, and all the things. I get to drop into this gap. Okay, and what is it? What is it then? Because if everything that I've been being, everything that I've been saying, everything that I've been evoking or not evoking, everything that I've been hiding from myself, myself, everything that I've been hiding from the world, whatever it is, whatever I've been believing is not working, right? That is the gap medicine. And when we drop in, as we drop in, we reveal unto ourselves whatever it is, whatever the medicine is in this moment, that which we need to see, that which we need to feel, that which we believe we need to understand. That is our humaning mind, right? That is our personhood. Thank you, Muji, for personhood. We're just going to thank all the people today. Thank you, Muji, for personhood. Everything that we are believing and seeing, okay, this is what needs to happen. This is what needs to shift. Whatever we're believing has to unfold in order for us to be that which we know that we are. And we get to say, okay, and what else might be true? If you've been with me a while, you know this is one of my favorite inquiries. And what else might be true? What else might be true? Yes? What else might be true? Well, it might be true that I've fallen back down the rabbit hole of only working with white mentors, only reading authors on creativity, on wealth and abundance, on sex and pleasure, and intimacy, on relationships, on connection, on belonging. I've only been reading and engaging with white authors, with white mentors, with white healers, and I've gone back down this rabbit hole of looking to the white body as a standard through which I see myself, and then I never quite meet up. I never quite match that because it was a standard that was never meant for us, right? And so if we find ourselves back in that state, okay, so then what are we called to experience instead? Right? And I invite you to journal that as well. So once you notice whatever is here for you, right? And what am I called to experience instead? This is not what am I called to do instead. There might be some doingness, there might be some action, right? But what am I called to experience? How am I called to experience myself, to remember myself, to reveal myself back unto myself instead of what I've been perpetuating in my own life? Instead of what I've been perpetuating in my own art, right? What am I called to experience instead? How do I desire to experience myself at this moment instead? Instead of what I've been saying and doing and thinking and believing, what do I desire instead? Right? And so if you've been feeling, oh God, like I'm not ready, right? This comes back into our sense of worthiness, our sense of inherent worthiness to be able to handle whatever it is that we know has been placed inside of us as our magic to be shared with the world. Our ability, our perceived capacity. Oh no, it's going to blow out my nervous system. Oh no, the white supremacists are going to come for me. Oh no, like whatever it is. Are we trusting in ourselves? Are we trusting in ourselves to be able to handle the fullness of ourselves, to be able to handle our own power, or are we not? Or are we not? Because when we are not, we will continuously hide from ourselves. We will continuously perpetuate and project the white supremacist standard onto ourselves as if it were rote, as if it were truth, as if it were our truth, as if it were something that we even wanted in the first place. Yes? And so as we continuously reveal ourselves, when we think that we are desiring clarity, oh, I want clarity in my message, oh, I want clarity in my business, oh, I want clarity in my offer, oh, I want clarity in my play, oh, I want clarity in this next art installation, oh, I want clarity in this next book, oh, I want clarity in this. What we are really desiring is to see ourselves clearly. We are really desiring to reveal ourselves back unto ourselves and to stop living into this perception that we know is not our truth. We are desiring to see ourselves, to be shown back unto ourselves as that which we are, not as that which anyone has told us we had to be in order to X, Y, and Z, in order to be free, in order to be safe, in order to belong, etc., etc., etc. We are in the desiring. If you have ever said, oh God, I just need clarity in this whatever. I need clarity in my sales copy. I need clarity in my, hold on. I need clarity in my relationship. I need clarity. What you are desiring the revelation of yourself, right? You are desiring to see yourself truly and clearly, not through the white gaze, not through the white gaze that says this is how you have to be in order to be acceptable. This is how you have to be in order to quote unquote get ahead. This is how you have to be in order for us to see you, in order for us to attend your gallery opening, in order for you to have the patrons, the audience, the clients, the members, the whatever it might be. No, we get to reveal, and this is who the fuck I know that I am. This is who I say that I am. This is who I know that I am. And this is who I am now going to become the embodied evocation of, because there is nothing else. There's nothing else that I am willing to entertain. I am no longer willing to entertain the white gaze as the means through which I see myself. I am no longer willing. I am no longer available to see myself through a white lens. I am no longer willing to hold myself to a white body standard that was never meant for me in the first place. I am no longer willing to perpetuate oppression within myself, within my body, within my breath, within my blood, within my bones. I am no longer willing to perpetuate racism and anti-blackness and anti-indigeneity, yeah, baby, in my work, in my art, in my body of work, in everything that I say, in everything that I touch, in the way that I fuck, in the way that I love, in the way that I experience myself in and through this world, right? I am no longer willing. So there's an invitation. What are you no longer willing to accept? What are you no longer willing to perpetuate, right? I invite you to write those both out. What are you no longer willing to accept in, through, and as yourself? What are you no longer willing to perpetuate in, as, and through yourself? And there you will be found. There you will be found. When you begin to get really clear, this is what you get to reveal to yourselves are your non-negotiables. Where you get to say, I am this is a non-negotiable for me. I am not negotiating with myself. I am not negotiating with white supremacy. I'm not negotiating with colonialism. I am not negotiating with erasure. I am not negotiating with oppression. I am not negotiating with marginalization. I am not negotiating for my freedom. I am not negotiating for my liberation. I am not negotiating for my voice. I am not negotiating for that which I know that I am to be evoked into the world. These are the non-negotiables. Here, I am no longer available to X, Y, and Z. I invite you to write all of these out. I am no longer available to negotiate with, fill all of the things in. I am no longer available to perpetuate X, Y, and Z within myself. I am no longer available to experience myself as anything less than X, Y, and Z. What is it? And what is it for you? And really notice how that matches up with how you've been living. How you've been revealing yourself unto yourself or not. How you've been showing up to the magic as the magic in the world or not. Right? Where you've been saying the things and being the things and all of the things, but not publicly though. Not in your business though, not in your impact though, not in your philanthropy though, right? Not in the world though. Like you've been saying it and running around and like raging against the machine in your fucking life, in your fucking house, in your fucking car, while you're driving down the highway, like whatever. Like you've been saying, you're like fuck, and maybe you've been recording the audios, maybe you've been writing the things, and you've been writing the book, and you've been writing the things, and you've been sculpting the things, like, but you're not publishing. You're not shipping, as Seth Godin would say. You're not allowing it to be out in the world. You're not being prolific when you know that you're here to be fucking prolific. This is one of my things where I'm like, I'm tired. Do you know why we're fucking tired? Because we've been carrying the mantle of intergenerational trauma, of intergenerational racialized trauma. We have been wading through a white body standard and wondering why we are fucking tired as we've been perpetuating the systems of oppression within our own body. When you are perpetuating oppression within your own body, within your own breath and blood and bones, no wonder you're tired. No wonder it feels that much harder to say the things that you know need to be said, to say the things that you can't not say. No wonder it feels harder when what you've been living into is a standard that you could never meet because it was a standard that was never created for you. It was a standard created for you to never be able to meet it, and still you're spending your time and your energy and your effort trying to meet it, and then wondering why you're holding yourself back because the evidence, the physical evidence that you've been shown, that you're showing yourself, does not match up with what you think it should be once you're starting to try and meet that standard. Does this make sense? Where are we at? Okay, we're a little over half an hour. Does this make sense? And the invitation, the invitation then becomes, who are you willing to be? Who are you willing to be in the face of a system that was created to ensure that you never see yourself truly? Who are you willing to be? How are you willing to show up? Will you show up? Will you allow your body to become so resourced and so regulated that everyone who is around you becomes more resourced and regulated simply by being in the energy of you? simply by coming into contact with you, whether this is, online, whether this is in person, whether this is what the fuck ever. How deeply are you willing to meet yourself? How deeply are you willing to reveal yourself back unto yourself and then reveal yourself to the world? Because if you are in a space, if you are in a moment, if you are in a sequence of moments, right, where you have not been showing up for the magic as the magic, you are already, you are primed and ready to see that which you have not seen before, to remember that which you have not known before. Nothing needs to change in order for you to rewild the fuck out of your everything. It is simply you noticing, you coming into an awakening of where you are in this moment, and then you deciding, you choosing where you go from here, who you become in this. Not, okay, I've got to go get another degree, another certification, I've got to go do act, blah, 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 blah. None of that. In this moment, what do you see of yourself? What are you revealing back unto yourself? And then what do you say this moment gets to be for? Regardless of everything that every moment up until now has been for, what does this moment become? What does this moment get to be for? What will you say? What do you know that you can't not say? What needs to be said that you are not saying, that you are not evoking because of whatever standard you have been holding yourself to? It is very challenging to drop into the fucking primal and the raw and the fucking essence of that which you are if you were continuously trying to meet something that you never wanted in the first place. You're continually trying to hold yourself to a standard that was not meant for you, that you know was not meant for you, right? If you are continuing to hold on to an ideal that is not your ideal, and then wondering why it's feeling so fucking hard to be in the fullness of yourself, to trust in your own power, right? To reveal yourself as the erotic fucking primordial essence and evocation of that which you know that you are. And so if you're desiring more, you want it all, because of course you fucking want it all. You're here with me, you want it fucking all, right? That's just, that's just what we want. That's how we roll, that's how we do, right? We want it fucking all, and we want it how we want it, when we want it, for as long as we want it, with whomever we want, for as long as we want it with them, and then we want to move on when we want to move on. Like, we want what we want, what we want, what we want, and we get to allow that. We get to choose that, right? But within that, we've got to also see what else we've been choosing. We've got to see how we've been shunning ourselves, how we've been shaming ourselves for not meeting that standard, that white body standard that we never wanted to meet in the first place. We get to reveal unto ourselves where we have been fighting a battle upon where our body has become a battleground, right? Between the human self and soul, between the physical and great mystery and creation and God. We get to reveal back unto ourselves where we have spent all of our time and energy fighting ourselves back and forth, right? In the frequency of fragmentation, as I call it, right? Oh, I want that. No, I want, but do I want this? But should I say it? But should I go in? But should I not go in? But where we have been expending ourselves, where we have been exhausting ourselves, rather than saying yes to that which we know is for us, and saying no to every fucking thing else. Every fucking thing else. And so in the wilds of our everything, we are found. Because the wilds is what we are. We are the fucking wilds, right? If you are desiring to say the things and fucking unleash and give no shits about what anyone says about it, and to call yourself in when you notice that you have done harm, to call yourself in when you notice that you are hiding, to call yourself in when you notice that you are hiding away from that which you know is for you, right? When you were saying and doing and being anything less than the full embodied evocation of soul. When you notice that you are fearing your own power, when you notice that you are so afraid that you are going to destroy the fucking world by stepping into your own power, that you have shied away, that you've gone into anything and everything else other than the full evocation of you, this is where we reveal. This is where we awaken. This is where we say, okay, fuck that shit. I am no longer willing. F that noise. I am no longer willing to be anything less than the totality of that which I know that I am, to evoke anything less than the totality of that which I know is here for me to say, to be, to evoke, to transmit, to transmute through myself and into and as the world. I am no longer willing. I am no longer fucking willing. Yeah? And we get to begin to take whatever it is that we have pedestaled, the white body standard, the full evocation of ourselves, our power, whatever it is, whatever we've pedestaled, whatever we've placed onto a pedestal as being, oh, it's untouchable, oh, it's up there, oh, that's when I'll feel like I am able, that's when I'll feel worthy, that's when I'll feel whatever the fuck it is. We get to de-pedestal whatever we have placed up there and say yes in the here and the now. Say yes in the here and the fucking now, right? We get to become the yes to our everything right the fuck now. And it begins as soon as we allow ourselves to see the standard to which we've been holding ourselves was never meant for us. It was never meant for our bodies. It was never meant for the melanated medicine kin. And as soon as we begin to look at, okay, and so what is my input? What is my input? What have I been taking in? Have I been taking in whiteness being the equivalent of greatness? Have I been taking in the white body standard as the one and only thing that I could achieve and strive for and look to as a means through which I can I can achieve and become that which I know that I am? What is the thing? Reveal it to yourself. Because the rewilding begins as soon as you see, yeah, I see it, and fuck that shit. No more. No, I'm no longer willing. I am no longer available to be anything less than the totality of that which I know that I am. I am no longer fucking willing. It's just not. I'm not. I can't. I won't. And as we are in that state, as we are in a state of becoming unavailable, of noticing our non-negotiables, of being true to ourselves and not true to a standard, not true to the white body as the norm, right? As we come back into our own selves and we begin to say, this is the practice. This is the practice of myself. I am in liberatory practice and liberatory praxis, right? That is my life now. I am allowing myself to be in my breath, to be in my movement practices. I am allowing myself to be in the remembrance. I am allowing myself to create from a state of liberation. Liberation, if you've heard me say it before, liberation for one means absolutely nothing without the liberation of all. And the problem with so many white teachings and teachers and books and authors and films and media and all of these things that are not doing their own anti-racism work, are not doing their anti-oppression work, is that they are not taking into account, right? They are not taking into account liberation for all. They are taking into account liberation for the people who look like them. The people who come from where they come from, the people who have had the experiences that they have had. They are not taking into account, and what happens when you add melanin into the mix? What happens when you add in a systemic oppression of hundreds of years that has been passed down, the brutalization of the bodies of our ancestors that has been passed down, that is the air that we have breathed, that the oh my God, the hypervigilant state in our body, the fight-flight response, the fucking potential fight-flight freeze, appease, potentially going into the full fifth response of annihilation, right? When that has become our body standard, right? That when the people that we're studying under, the people that we're learning from, and the people that we're engaging with, if they are not taking into account, right, what is happening in our bodies and what has been passed down through the generations of our ancestors in our bodies, if we are continuously trying to learn and relearn and remember our indigenous ways and our traditional ways only through the lens of the white body, then we will forever find ourselves wanting. We will forever judge ourselves as being less than. We will forever try to meet something that we never wanted in the first place. We will continuously hold back our vision and our message and our voices and our magic and our medicine. We will continuously hide it and shrink it and try to learn more and do more and become more in order to be worthy of ourselves. And so we get to look at what's the input? What are we taking into our bodies? What are we drinking down? Even who are you fucking? Who are you having sex with? What are you taking into your body? Orally, anally, vaginally, whatever, all the things that you've got. What are you putting into someone else's body, right? And then receiving in that sexual energy, right? That sexual energy flow. Yes, if we are continuously perpetuating a state of oppression within our own bodies, within our breath, within our sex, within our intimacy, within our love, then how could our magic, how could our business, how could the impact that we're having in the world, how could it not be informed by what we're taking in? And so this is an invitation to notice what you're taking in, notice what you are putting out into the world, and then choose. Is this the truth of me? Is this the fucking goddess and the god of me? Is this that which I know that I fucking am? Or is this a perpetuation of what they told me I could be? You get to choose. You get to come back into the wild of your fucking self in this moment, in all moments. You get to choose that everything you say and everything you touch and everything you are is you are here for. What you stand for, the line that you draw in the sand, is for the liberation of all bodies, all fucking bodies, all fucking bodies, all fucking bodies, not bodies that meet the binary standard, not bodies that meet the white body standard, not bodies that meet the standard, whatever your culture, whatever your peoples told you had to meet, not even realizing that the standard that they were setting was rooted in colonization, was rooted in them telling you to look like and act like and behave like something that would uphold the oppression of yourself. Sorry, hit the table. Yeah. Does this make sense? And whether you're here live or whether you're watching this later, tell me the things. Comment. Does it make sense? Does it relate? Does it resonate? Are you able to see where you've been trying to experience yourself in a way that was never meant for you? That was never meant for your freedom and your liberation, but was only meant to keep you in your quote unquote place. Right? It was never meant for your liberation, but rather intended to keep you fighting yourself and fighting and in a state of such hypervigilance that you were or hypovigilant that you were so fucking exhausted that even the mere idea of rising up against the oppressor and the systems that you were upholding that were oppressing yourself, like the idea of rising up you couldn't even feel like you could handle it. Right? Are you willing to look? Are you willing to see? Are you willing to show yourself and reveal back unto yourself your truth? This is where we remember. This is where we activate. And then this is where we begin to speak. This is where we begin to evoke that truth out into the world. Because we have chosen to no longer hold ourselves to something that we never wanted in the first place. We are no longer willing to play these muggled games with ourselves. We are only and ever willing to be our everything. We are only and ever willing to be free. We are only and ever willing to be the embodied evocation of liberation for all. Now and always. Now and always. And so then the magic that we put out into the world, the art that we put out into the world, the businesses that we run, the impact that we have, the sex that we have, the love that we make, the relationships that we're in, intimate, sexual relationships, physical relationships, friendships, family, mentor, mentee, guidee, all of it, everything, our come from shifts. The bones of it all, it shifts. It all shifts back into liberation for all. It shifts back into the fucking wild. It is not the wilds that people pretend, oh, if you paint period blood on your face and that means you're free, or you show your naked body and that means you're free. There's nothing wrong with these. Do that shit if it resonates. Like sometimes that's what resonates. But if you're seeking these, oh, this means that I'm in the wilds. No. Are you doing your fucking anti-racism work? Are you doing your anti-oppression work? Are you living into liberation as the praxis for everything and everybody, not just those who look like you? Because otherwise, that shit ain't the wild. That shit's not raw. It's not God. It's not primal. It's not the sacred return of everything that you know is here for you. No, you are simply continuing to uphold the systems of oppression in the world while allowing yourself to feel as if you are more free. And so for all of us, us, melanated kin, melanated medicine kin, the multidimensional messengers, the soul refugees who know that you know that you know that you fucking know that you are here for the fucking wild. This is your invitation to come home. To come home to your everything, to come home to that which you know that you are, to fucking come home, to belong into and as unto yourself. First and foremost, you as the evocation of God, the physical embodiment and manifestation of God, being made flesh, being made manifest in every given moment, every breath, that you are is in the remembrance. You are in the revelation of yourself back unto yourself, right? Everything you touch, everything you are, everything you create comes from. Your come from has shifted back into the remembrance, back into the full awakening of that which you know that you are and that which you always known. Always known. You only forgot for a time. You only fucking forgot. But this is your invitation to remember. Yes? This is your invitation to remember. Are there any questions? I feel like we're coming into completion here. Are there any questions? Yeah. I'll see anything else that has come through. If there's anything that you want to share here while we're live, if there's anything that you want to share afterwards, right? In the comments. I don't know where we'll leave this up. We might leave this up on the YouTubes. I'm not sure yet. We shall see. I'll see what comes through. Yeah. So that's the invitation, my loves. That is the invitation. And if you are feeling called to go deeper, if you are feeling called melanated kin, medicine kin, if you are feeling called to remember who the fuck you are, to reveal yourself unto yourself, and to work with a melanated mentor, gender non-conforming, autism having, melanated kin, soul refugee, who will see you and hold you and fucking walk with you into the wild as you are in the full revelation and remembrance of yourself, not extracting your magic to be used for some fucking algorithm, to be used for some other for some other white body standard or company or whatever it might be, that or for for oh my god, what I'm trying to, like a publishing house, right? That company, and like they're extracting your magic, and then like you're sitting there getting like pennies on the dollar for your magic, whatever it might be. If you are ready to come fucking home, right? You are ready to come to a place of belonging. You are ready to come back into the fucking primordial bones of your everything, of your fucking everything. Then I'm going to invite you to come with me into, holy shit, this is the culmination of my entire life and my entire body of work, of everything that I've done, of everything that I've not done, of everything that I've said, of everything that I've left unsaid, everything. When I tell you this is the dopest thing I've ever put out into the world. If you have ever wanted to work with me, this is the place. This is the place. This is the time. This is the moment. This is that portal. I invite you to come with us. It is called the Erotic Abolitionism Experience. We open for founding members, depending on when you see this. Founding members might have already been closed, but if you're seeing this live, if you're seeing this soon, we open for founding members on 2/22, February 22nd, yes? And we will open for full membership on March 1st. If you are ready, if you know that you're fucking, this is a vibe. We're a fucking vibe. We're a fucking vibe, and you fucking know, and you want to go in and you want to play, then I'm going to invite you to come with me. The sales page is not open yet. You can't enroll yet, but this is me putting you on notice. This is your fucking call to arms, yes? This is your fucking call to awakening, to remembrance, to revelation, so that you stand for that which you know that you are, and everything you touch, everything you are, everything you output, your input is fucking clean. It is cleansed. It is clear. You are allowing yourself to be fully fucking revealed and activated back into everything that you are. This is liberatory practice, right? This is liberatory practice, yeah? And so stay tuned. Watch this space. You'll be able to go to eroticabolitionism.com. You'll be like nikkakarli.com/experience. Once the pages are open, they're not open yet, but you can go to them now if you just feel like having the browser, open the tab, have the tab open in your browser for 2/22 for February 22nd when the doors open for founding members. I'm just saying there are limited spaces, limited world, limitless, and we are only taking on a certain number of founding members. And then the doors will open for full regular members on March 1st. But if If you are ready to say the things and you are ready to stop playing muggle dick games with yourself and your magic, you are ready to stop fucking around with the medicine of your soul, and you are ready to go in and you're ready to go fucking ham, and you are ready for belonging and you're ready to come home, then this is that invitation. Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it. All right, my loves. I don't see any questions coming through. So regardless of when you're watching this, tell me all the things. Send me, like, just send them, comment on the things if this is staying up publicly. I don't know if it will yet. Shoot me some messages on DM, you know, on the IG inside of our private Nick Nation app if you're already a member. Tell me all the things. Tell me what comes through for you. And if you know that you know this is your time to come into full, deep magic, into this membership with me, it's a membership experience, then I fucking invite you. Like, this is your invitation, and I would love to have you. Yeah. Yeah. Please share this with other melanated medicine kin who you know that this could be the full fucking all the things for them. Thank you for being here. I love you. I love you. I love you. As always, here's to your untaming. Bye, wild ones.